Why did I fall for DoorDash scams? Well, I know that title might be a little tricky when it came to me because I didn't necessarily fall for her monetary scams, but I did fall for her motivative scams. And the reason why was because her energy was so hyped up. And part of that sort of resonated with who I am originally. Now, like I said, I got a serious side, but there is a side of me that is goofy, like to joke around. I like to entertain. Like I said in the previous video before, I was a cheerleader most of my life, so that kind of just felt with me. And then the motivational speeches that she was giving in between all the acting crazy, it was actually good messages. Girl was actually giving some good messages when she spoke. So that is what drew me into her, watching her. But as time went on, and it didn't last that long, I started seeing some flaws. And so what? So what? Everybody got flaws. I got flaws too, y'all. Okay? I got some serious flaws that I have to work on. And one of the biggest flaws of mine is my delivery. Me and Natalie on her post this morning, we had a good old time. And I'm gonna post her full name on here. But I do know her name is Natalie. And we had a good old time on her live today. You hear me? All right, DC, let me go ahead and say this so you can hear my voice. Say it, hold it down, DC. You hear me? All right, cuz so don't let them get through there. But we had a good old time on that live. The funny thing is, I do lives and I love them. But sometimes when you're talking as the viewer on the live, the message might not come through the way you intended to. That's kind of the problem with texting too. So what really had me locked and loaded with hers today is because we was having a very deep and interesting conversation. And I'm not going to give that away here because I want you to go watch her live for her replay as she put it back up. But in the middle of doing so, it almost felt like a charade because I was trying to get her to understand what I was saying, and although she was catching on exactly for a lot of stuff, but some of the things I had to take my time explaining it to her, and it almost felt like we was playing a game of charade. Girl, Natalie, and if you could have saw me on the other end of that camera, I was like, yeah, girl, you got it. There you go. When she started hitting those high fives on her camera, I had already been started high five. Go ahead, girl. But I absolutely enjoyed her live, y'all. Go check out her channel. If you're not subscribed to her channel, make sure you go and do so. She's very funny, and she got some good stuff over there going on. So yeah, go ahead and get locked and loaded with that. But that's kind of how we resonate with a lot of people on this platform that we tend to resonate with. So when I do the exposures, now that my eyes are open to the truth, because I was once you, y'all. And did I delete those videos showing that I did support her at one time? No, I did not. Did I unlist them? No, I did not. Why? Because I want everybody to see where I was. I want you to see that even me, a person who has a very discerning spirit, especially once I get to know you, and someone who has the ability to really read the room and read a person, I still was drawn in because she's a great manipulator, y'all. A great manipulator. And I've also did a video on there showing you how to show the signs of them. But, like I disclosed in that live earlier today, I do a lot of self-reflecting on myself. So when I have conversations with people and I make a statement, a lot of times I'm telling you stuff from my own experiences and how I had to overcome some things. Like, especially when you're trained to do certain things. Like I was trained to do a lot of the stuff that comes off naturally now because it's been years since I've learned it, and I have been implementing those things. Like when I was going to school for law and I was studying law, They used to teach us how to watch people when they are lying. You could tell. No, number one giveaway to tell how you're lying is watch the body. Watch the body language. Watch how a person is moving around you and acting around you. Once you know and learn their tweaks, because we all have them. When something is not right, or you're saying something that is not truthful, or misleading, sometimes you would have something that you do and you do it quite often, right? It's a deterrent method. It's a deflection method to get the attention off the fact that you may be lying, right? So the first thing that you do is you look at their body language. And if that body language ain't right, you better start paying attention just a little bit more. It was also something that helped me when I became a cab driver. Before I became an operations manager of the company and I actually ran the company, I was a driver. And that helped me a lot. But that was a tactic that I learned long before I ever started driving cabs. I learned that when I was going to school for criminal justice and learning that side of the law. And during that time when I went to school, we would meet with lawyers, and my teacher was an actual lawyer. She was a lawyer and an ex-judge, right? And she was, she had some type of office position, like a supreme office position with the United States of America at one point in her life as well. And so I learned a lot from this woman. I mean, she was I was so intrigued by her. I mean, I was taking notes. I was studying her. She was the one who told me she became a lawyer at a late age, right? So it was never too late to do what you wanted to do. But during my experiences of doing that, part of criminal justice, you get to meet with police officers and you get to sit with them. Now, that too also resonated with me because a lot of my family are police officers. I have a lot of police officers in my family. I have a lot of correctional officers in my family. So to actually get to talk with someone who's able to talk to you on certain things, because even though you know people, they're not privileged to talk and discuss that stuff with you. Okay. But now with my mind, I had somebody that was in front of me that I could pick their brains, right? And I learned a lot, even from the officers and throughout my life because of my career choice or career path that I took. I ran into a lot of more lawyers. I ran into a lot of police officers and stuff like that. So it just really fed into the passion that I was never able to continue. But it taught me a lot, even in addition to what I learned in school, about watching a person's body language, watching their eyes. You know, the eyes are very telling. Some people say the eyes look empty, and you can tell that something is not quite right within their spirit, right? And some people, it's just you can, if you knew how to watch out for clues, like if I was sitting really close to you, I could actually watch the pimples inside your eyes, and your pimples of your eyes will tell me if you're lying or telling the truth. It's kind of hard to see that on camera unless I'm actually geared into my eyes so that you can see my pupil in my eye, right? But once you learn these things, you pick up on things. And sometimes when you're a person who are subjective to learning a lot of stuff, once you see stuff, it's hard to unsee stuff. So what you do is you continue to learn from it. But at the same time, when you're doing that, you have to also learn yourself, and you have to self-reflect within. And I gotta be honest with y'all, like it was because of my life experiences that I went through that I too could have went down a very dark road in my life at some point, where I had to overcome that. I had to get healed from that. I had to then learn how to apply that. See, I talk about in another video how I asked and prayed for wisdom and knowledge. And God just don't give you wisdom and knowledge. What he does is put you through a lot of things to experience stuff, so therefore you can have it. But what he also does is bring a lot of people into your path that you can learn from. And if you truly want wisdom and knowledge, you're going to learn from them, right? While you're learning from your own experiences and everything that it takes to make you into the person that you were meant to be. the God-given person that you were meant to be. Um, so I shared a little of that because all that played into my whole thing with Dodash. See, what a lot of people don't realize about me, even though I do enjoy the comment section and talking to people and the interaction because I get to learn people. And when I talk to y'all, it's not that I'm just talking to y'all. I'm learning who you are. I'm learning at each and every last one of you. That's why it becomes a personal experience with me when I'm talking with you, because I feel like I really know you on a personal level from what you allowed me to know about you. And I'm sure there's things that even with me getting to understand who you are as a person, I don't know, because people don't open up to everybody. I know that from my own self, because when I was going through some of the hardest times in my life, I didn't even share half of the stuff that I was going through with people that really knew me. Okay? So I get that part. I get that part. But you learn. And when you learn, and like I said, it's kind of hard to unsee things and unlearn them, even if it's a good thing, right? Sometimes when people get certain things, if you're not careful with the gifts that you ask for or the whatever it is that you wish, you don't know how to control what you're doing with what you're given. And we're put through different tests in this life. So as we're allowed to get whatever our hearts desire, because that is one thing the Bible does teach you. Whatever, once you completely seek the Lord, he will give you what you ask him. He's not trying to hold it from you. The only time he won't give it to you because he knows who you are. And if he give it to you, it'll destroy you and pull you further away from him. So if it's something that he knows you cannot handle, you will never have, because he's looking out for your benefit. Well, there's the thing though. When you're doing, when you ain't quite got it right with God, the devil too is learning you as well. So he know what you want as well. So he'll give you what you want. And you have to be able to know when your discernment has to kick in at some point to see, where is this coming from? Is this coming from a godly place, or is it coming from an ungodly place? Because just like YouTube is split down the middle, so is life. Is really split down the middle, and there's no in between. You either on God's side or you're not, and that's just that. Right? You're either gonna follow the rules that God set before us in order to have a heavenly life, or you're gonna just live your life however you want to, and that's the way of the world. And then you're gonna find out in the end how it all gonna turn out. Right? But YouTube is no different. People are really no different. It's like something people we tolerate just because, but then that's the choice you're making. You're making that decision to just tolerate it, right? You decided to do that. So you're keeping yourself stuck in on the fence, right? But either it's a yes or either it's a no. Either you like them or you do not. Either you love them or you hate them. Everything has an exact opposite of the other thing. And it's not. So if there's one thing, there has to be another, because that's just how this world works. And you have to figure that out, right? So when I first was introduced to DoorDash, I liked her motivation. I liked her excitement, because that was what resonated with me, right? But once I learned her and started seeing things, and things were being brought to my attention, and because I am who I am, right? And I searched and I did, and I found more stuff on my own, and then I really geared into her. I learned her and I saw things about her. Well, I can understand why Dante followed her as well, because he's looking for the easy way out of things, and DoorDash herself is looking for the easy way out of things. And that's why a lot of people attach themselves to her, because they're looking for the easy way out of things. Because if you don't act like her and you don't resonate with her spirit, then what is keeping you there? Right? You need something to motivate you. She's the reason why you started doing something again. She's the reason why you got back dedicated, not just to YouTube, but other stuff that you put off in life. But what is going to make you stay doing that when she no longer is here? And whether it's because she's no longer here because she's blocked from the platform, or she's no longer here because she decides she wants to move on, or she's no longer here because God says she's not going to be here. And what are you going to do then? How are you going to continue to go on with what you're doing? Right? So I get it why people attach themselves to the, her and people like her, right? And there is another thing. When you find out something is wrong, you have to look within yourself to figure out what is it within myself that is allowing me to do this. And it's called self-reflection. You have to learn to self-reflect on yourself in order to be able to fix whatever you got going on. So that way, whatever you're connecting with that ain't right, you will never connect to nothing else like that again, because you'll have a little bit more regard of the next go round, right? And you'll be tested again, right? But you have to reflect from within, and then once you do reflect from within and you heal from within, then you can better handle the thing from without. But in order to handle the things from without, you have to accept the truth that you saw. If you're willing to just see it for what it is and continue to follow, then you're not being real with yourself. And you're going to have a hard time figuring this thing out. Right? So that is truly what is going on with the people, that each individual person that is going through what they're going through when it comes to constantly getting scammed with DoorDash that are real hardcore. So I thought about making this video about why I got scammed, by why I fell for a DoorDash scam, because a lot of us have failed in these pit holes, and we each have our own story as to why we did it. And when we're finally honest with ourselves, we can accept the fact of why we did it, so we don't do it no more and we can pull away from it. But it's real hard for some if they ain't willing to look at themselves first. You have to look at yourself first. And this is going to be DoorDash's biggest issue outside of God himself. She having a hard time of dealing with who she is in the inside. And even though she has what she thought she wanted in the past, she has a better body, so her health is probably in a better situation than when it was. But let me tell y'all, skinny don't mean healthy. It don't mean healthy at all. Like some of my skinnier companions that I known throughout life, health was horrible. Okay, so skinny doesn't mean healthy, right? So you got to know the difference. But she has her look. She has her look now. And she has money, since money has always been the issue for her. But the girl ain't healed. She's not. And until she is healed, everything that she continued to get will slip through her hands, especially when she ain't healed with her issues from God, and she hasn't healed from her issues within herself, and she's willing to use and run through anybody to get it. It will continue, whether it continue here or where it will continue other places. But for this particular video, I want everybody who's watching this video and who made it to this point to write in the comment section why you fell for DoorDash scam, whether it was money or whether it was the money scam or whether it was the emotional side of it, because it's one or the other. It's the emotional side. Even if it was the entertainment, it was the emotional side. Even if it was her motivational, it was the emotional side. Now, if you fell for it because of all the money she showed you, far as the revenue videos, then it was the money. If you fell for it because you thought it was going to help grow your channel, it still was the money. Okay. So be honest with yourself as to why you allowed yourself to fall into this trap. Self-reflect, heal from it, and work. And just, y'all, once y'all realize and get over that part of whatever you're dealing with within yourself, everything else opens up beautifully. You get a bigger, clearer picture. And for anybody that has a conversation with me in my comment section, if I do this to myself on a regular basis, I self-reflect on myself on a regular basis. If I do this with myself, how much more am I going to do it with the people I come in contact with? Especially when I know they're not right. My passions are God, people, and law. Those are my passions. And that second passion got my family wrapped up in it. They at the top of the list. I care for them way more than I can care for anybody else. I'm being honest, okay? So at the beginning of the people section is my family. Then it's the rest of the people. And then it's law, y'all. So understand what your passions are. Understand why you fall for things. Accept whatever it is that you feel for things. Learn from them. Move forward. Drop a comment so we can have a discussion in the comment section. And Jay, I got a special surprise for you after this video. So don't forget y'all to hit like, share, and subscribe, y'all. All right. And as always, be your brothers and your sisters' keeper. Keep God first. And toodles.
What you say? I'm locked in, Jay. I'm locked in. I'm locked in, Jay. I'm locked in. RLOCKEN. Jay. I'm locked in. Boom, 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 boom.